good on the rings now. I think for the last bit, I think we do a little bit of mobility and a little bit of core, and I think we're good.
Nice. Yeah.
Feels fun?
Yeah, it's fun.
The better you feel about yourself and the more confident you feel in your own skin, the more access you're going to have to go after everything else you want in life. My name is Scott Strong, and I'm the founder and trainer at Whole New Body. It was a little rough in my household growing up, and I turned a lot of that pain inward, and I developed an emotional eating disorder. I grew up overweight and to the point where my own body was just crushing myself. And I couldn't move, I couldn't breathe, and needless to say, high school was just a very difficult, terrible time for me. And I remember hating myself and hating my body and feeling trapped in it.
I was very stiff. I worked at a keyboard all day, and I had no exercise for 5 or 6 years. And it was hard to do everything. To move at all was difficult. And I'd be out of breath all the time. I felt I was getting increasingly overweight. And that is when I started with Scott at Whole New Body to try and turn that around. It feels better walking around all the time. I just always feel better. Just a little more relaxed, a little bit more fluid, a little bit more confident. Feels like I just have a better body.
People are coming in and they have no knowledge of their own body. They've never been taught. I created Whole New Body to address not just what I see as the failure of the fitness industry to truly help people, but also the idea of physical education. We put our kids through PE class, and we call it physical education, but there's no real education. So we're growing up into adults with no knowledge of our body, which is the most fundamental aspect of every experience we'll have in our whole life. The fitness industry has failed people because it sets them up with this quick fix mentality, and people would get what they want so much faster and so much easier if they understood in the beginning, like, hey, this is going to take time, and they settled in for that long haul.
So I started working with Whole New Body because I had just had my third kid, and I was feeling really weak. I was feeling really tired, and it was really hard for me to just get off the floor, let alone do all the really fun activities that I would have with my kids. I don't think I've ever committed to my body in a way that I have with this program. And one of the things that I think was really kind of a turning point for me was about 3 months after I started working with A Whole New Body, I felt like that was where I was going to be. And I was going to be at kind of maintenance level because I wasn't coming in very often, and I just didn't think I was going to get any more results. But Scott really pushed me, and he said, you know, if you just keep going at this rate, you're going to make a lot of progress. It might not be overnight, but it will be progress. And if you stick with it, I think you're going to feel a lot different in a while. So I stuck with it for another 3 months, and then another 3 months, and lo and behold, I just keep getting stronger and feeling more confident in my body. So it's something that I want to stick with because I feel like it's kind of a lifelong journey, and I also feel like starting it now as opposed to starting it later is always going to be easier. And so I'm really excited to keep going with the program and to keep building strength that I didn't think I had before.
Okay, cool. I think that's enough pull-ups for one day? Yeah. Okay, what should we do next? Every person that comes to me is like a puzzle. Their body is a puzzle. I have to get to know their body, and it'll take me a moment, but I'll be able to see the puzzle of what needs to be stronger, what's too tight, what needs to be in a slightly different position, and how do we slowly, just like a bonsai tree, right? We want to grow them into a shape that is going to get them out of pain and into function. By the end of the first month, people are really starting to get it. It's really clicking for them. Aha, like this is why we did this, and it becomes very clear to them. So the first month is a bit of a ramp up. Usually by the end of the second or third month, people are really experienced change in their body. It might not be super dramatic, but it is noticeable. If you're focused and you really apply yourself to learning about your own body, you can completely radically transform yourself in 6 months.
He definitely gives you the energy you need. You can't get away with not doing it. It forces you to use your strength in a lot of different leverage positions, and you find that you actually can't do something at all, even though you're strong. And it's because there's other muscles you weren't thinking about that you need to train, and there is form, and you can't cheat with these types of exercises. And I think that honesty is what makes you see the results.
This is about understanding your body in ways that will serve you for the entire rest of your life. It's very important that I have a relationship with each of my students. I want them to come in, I want to work with them one-on-one, I want to understand the unique and beautiful puzzle that is their body and what their challenges are, so that when they come into class, they feel like they have a sense and they know what they're doing. So the first step is really understanding the person and getting to know them and letting them get to know me and creating that trust, right? That they know that they can feel safe trusting me when I ask them to lean into an edge. And then the second side of it is really about community. It's about the other people that you're learning with, because we're all on our own journey, and yet by going on that journey together, we're able to help each other. And so it's not just about you showing up because this is something that you need for yourself. You're also showing up because you know that other people are showing up too. Having small class sizes really creates an intimate family community vibe. Everyone gets to know each other, and I think that is another key component to really having the work stick, even when you're not in class. You're not going to have to go at it alone.
Being in a classroom where a teacher is noticing what's going on with my body and what I'm lacking it feels really good. It felt like I was being taken care of, and my body felt worked at the same time, which was really satisfying.
This is about more than just transforming your body, looking better in a bathing suit, or being able to do some cool strength trick. This is about how you feel every day of your life. Our bodies are at the core of every experience that we'll ever have.
He did a really good job of explaining the movements, empathizing with what would or wouldn't work for certain bodies, what would or wouldn't work for my body, and making adequate modifications to help me complete the movement, or at least build towards completing the movement.
The work you do with Scott is even more of an achievement when you complete a session or learn a move, because you are using your strength and it is difficult, but you also have something to focus on other than just one more or just a little bit heavier. You're really shooting for moves, and there's always a next step that you can actually look to that helps guide you and makes it that much more exciting when you're able to do it.
6, 5, 4, 3, wait for it, and down. I know what it's like to feel suffering in your body. I know what it's like to be 100 pounds overweight and stiff and in pain, and how that can become a vicious cycle of bad habits that just make you feel worse and worse and worse. And trying to turn that around can sometimes be the most difficult thing. Whether you're somebody who you're just starting from scratch and you're ready to make a 0 to hero transformation, whether you just have 10 or 20 pounds to lose, or you're somebody who's already pretty experienced and you want to get yourself to the next level of strength and skill, we can work with you. I want to invite you to give me a call. Come in, have a free assessment. Let's figure out the puzzle that is your body. And if it feels like a good fit, I want to invite you to come join us so that you can transform into your whole new body.